Hello and welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke, ranging from comic books, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Daniel.
And you are tuning in to episode 101. I like to call it episode LOL, so hopefully there will be a lot of funny stuff going on. But this week's podcast is brought to you by Mythicon.
Mythicon takes place September 19th to the 21st, so that is coming up really quick. And what is that, 4 weeks from now?
Well, yeah, okay.
It's going to be at the Doubletree Hotel near SeaWorld, Orlando.
Mythicon focuses mainly on internet stars, which is awesome. It's in its second year, and they have a lot of great stuff coming up. One of the guests that they will have is Eric Stewart, who is best known for Brock in Pokemon, and also Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, we talked about him last week at Mythicon, but we do have a lot of newer Pokemon listeners, so we figured we'd put in that Brock himself, the voice of Brock, will be at Mythicon.
Hey guys, Nurse Joy. Oh man, it's like he's in the studio with us.
You can get your tickets at mythicconventions.com. You can also find a link at our Twitter, twitter.com/reasonsimbroke, or on Facebook.
And for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome to the Brocat family. How we lay out our podcast is first we start out with some news. Again, comic books, movies, TV, video games, all the things that we spend way too much money on. And we follow up with our comic book pull list of the week. This typically consists of Batman DC, because, come on, Batman's the best.
Some sad Batman news, though. So sad it almost feels like I was in that alley with Batman.
Don't even, Dan. Nobody knows what he went through.
I'm getting there because Tampa's cartoon convention has been canceled. This is the one that was to have Kevin Conroy at the convention. The first time we would have met Kevin Conroy, I was going to get the signature tattooed on my arm. But if you check on the site, it says that the cartoon convention has been canceled. It's gone. It's no more. And we for sure know that Kevin Conroy is not going to be there because he never responded to any of the tweets we sent him. So he didn't spoil his own future.
He should have responded with, I thought that one was canceled, before they announced that it was canceled. Not surprised, though. When they said Kevin was going to be there, I'm like, really, guys? You can get Kevin? And then they're like, oh, you're right, we can't. We're canceled. I mean, we did get him, but we're canceled anyway.
What's funny is that was supposed to be our next sponsor for Nerd Up Media. And that explains why they didn't respond to the email. So there you go.
They're like, oh, this is getting too big. We didn't really mean for people to know about this.
And we're like, hey, we want to sponsor us. Come on. This is too much. At least they said it this early on. And not, let's say, in October or November, when I had really already had the time off and most people had bought their tickets. We know in August, months ahead, no cartoon convention, but they said they will definitely have one in 2015. Hopefully they reach out to the same guests, including Kevin, and try to have them come back.
They say they'll have one in 2015, and they'll go, oh, canceled again.
That would suck. Then Batman, Kevin Conroy, would actually have to go there and run the thing himself, because if they're not going to do it right, then Batman can.
You know, Kevin Conroy could get on Twitter and say, I'm going to be at this place, and so many people would show up and just pay him money. He could be like, I'm going to be at the McDonald's on Four Corners near downtown Disney. I'd be there.
Kevin, if you're listening and you want to come to Florida, we'll have a little Batman convention just for you.
In our house with the three of us.
That's even better, but I was going to say at the comic shop I work at.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But our house is way better.
I'll make you some tortilla soup.
So delicious.
But it's true, yes. I would throw him a Batman convention at your comic shop. I would even dress up as Harley. Or Andrea Beaumont, because then it's like I'm married to Batman.
But with that sad news out of the way, we can move into some solicitations from Marvel and DC. Mm-hmm. These are the solicitations for November 2014. You can find the full list at newsarama.com. This is stuff relating to either the bigger arcs that we felt we should cover or based on stuff that we are actually picking up and the stuff that Brocats have been listening us review over the year. Yeah, 2 years now.
Oh, wow, that's right, because we're at... No, tomorrow or next week will be 2 years.
2 years, okay.
50... No, I lied. 104 will be 2 years. Dan, know your math and the weeks in the year.
Math was my worst subject.
I know. There are 52 weeks in a year, so 104 is 2 years. So almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. First bit of news, Spider-Woman #1 got solicited.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we have Spider-Woman in her own comic ongoing was not the largest
Of course
excitement
not.
that came out of this.
Of course not. Never is.
The variant cover to Spider-Woman #1, the artist is Milo Manara, has had a bunch of people, bloggers, people on Twitter, on Facebook, getting on this artist, getting on Marvel over this cover. Main problems being anatomic errors and eroticism for Spider-Woman.
Oh, people.
If you haven't seen the cover yet, very easy. Google Spider-Woman #1 variant, and it'll pop up first story. It has Spider-Woman climbing over to the top of a roof. One of her legs is on the roof, the other one is hanging off. But this causes an upper shot of her entire back arched, and then of course a very tight-skinned butt. Her costume is like going right up her asshole, like it's that tight.
Like it gives the outline of her intestines and everything.
But Bustle.com has called the cover, quote, just plain lewd and irresponsible on the part of the minds at Marvel.
Now first I'd like to point out, and you told me about this, I haven't actually seen it for myself, but years ago there was another picture where Spider-Man was in that same pose. Did people blow up then?
They did not. And they haven't... Greg Land, he does a bunch of these covers way more erotic than this one. They call it like the porn face, open mouth girls. Like, if you actually look at it, people think that he actually took stills of women from like pornos
that he was watching.
And then
he's
drawing
like, yeah,
over
that's
it.
a good one.
And then putting like the superhero costume on him.
I like this man more now. He's taking risks.
And that hasn't gotten as much attention as this. Now, I did say it on Twitter and on Facebook, and I think you feel the same way, but we take the same stance on this as we did on the Detective Comics #27 Frank Miller variant. That one, if you guys remember, had Catwoman on her hands and knees and with a see-through top on it. Like, the only thing missing were the nipples. And people, again, freaked out over that one. Same stance, we're saying, it's the variant cover, get the main cover. If you really don't like this cover, don't support the book by buying the variant. Instead, get the main cover. Voicing your concerns is fine and everything, but as we said before, the dollar speaks.
Exactly. Vote with your dollar. You know, you didn't like this cover, so don't get it, and they'll go, oh, that's not the direction we need to go in next time.
But this is what people chose to gravitate towards, and I think it's in part with some of the bigger bloggers focused on this early on as soon as the variant was revealed, and people jumped on it. So again, don't get the variant. It's not the main cover. You don't have to buy this cover. The variants are there's usually less of them than the main cover. So get the main cover, and like Gail Simone said on Twitter, instead of focusing on this, initially she was very vocal about it, but it seems like she's sort of changed her tune a little bit after Dan Slott got on her and sent her that picture from Campbell that has Spider-Man in the exact same pose, and he's like, Spider-Man would never be drawn that way, and sent that to her, and I almost thought they were going to go at it on Twitter, so I was just getting ready.
You were so excited.
Never happened. I even favorited and retweeted and hashtagged that ass just to like egg it on a little bit. But no, instead she did say, let's celebrate the fact that Spider-Woman, another female character, has her own comic instead of
good job, Gail,
looking at this variant and making that the big deal. The big deal should be the fact that Spider-Woman has her own ongoing. And I think that's the mentality we should take.
Agreed. Next up in the solicitations, they have announced all new Captain America #1 with a Stephen Colbert variant. Amazing, buy it.
Yeah, we're going to get it. This is the one that was revealed on Colbert, the same episode that they revealed the new Captain America, which was the Falcon. So all new Captain America 1 will focus on the brand new Cap, which is, again, Sam Wilson.
Was that a good Stephen Colbert episode?
It was a good episode.
One that you watched without me?
It was a great episode. You should have seen it.
You should stop watching things without me, and then maybe I would see it.
The variant itself, it's not the greatest. Like, the drawing is kind of shitty, but it's Colbert. And
well, yeah.
Why not? Like, just buy it.
I'll support Colbert all the time, because he's the best. Hilarious.
Next on the list, Amazing Spider-Man number 9 and 10. So we're going to get 2 of those that month like we have been with the rest of them. Spider-Verse begins here, and the Superior Spider-Man puts together a team of every Spider-Man ever.
Awesome.
That all completes in this issue. It will guest star Miles Morales, who is from the Ultimate Universe, the Spider-Man that we are reading, aside from Superior Spider-Man. Still hoping he gets his own ongoing after all of this.
Mm-hmm. Very excited. I'm excited for this Spider-Verse stuff. Because that Superior Spider-Man book was really good. He's like, I'm going to lead you all now. We will also get Spider-Verse Team Up, #1 of 3. There will be 2 stories in each book, as different Spider-Man do some recruiting for Superior Spider-Man's army. So he's not even recruiting anymore. He's like, I'm leading you, so go find me more people to lead.
That's how awesome Doc Ock is.
He turned into Sinestro, apparently.
It's another tie-in. It's not part of the main series, but it's still kind of fun to see how these different Spider-Men from other universes, Spider-Ham being one of them, is going around. They're going around recruiting all these different people. How they're going to convince the harder ones, the ones that actually, the Spider-Men that actually kill. Mm-hmm. And then you have someone like Spider-Ham who's way lighter. He's going to be on Doc Ock's army. That's awesome. And that just gets us more excited for Spider-Verse.
Exactly.
Which is the next one on the list. Spider-Verse number 1 of 2 will be coming in November.
Moving on to my favorite section of the solicitations, we have the DC November 2014. First up is a new Suicide Squad number 4, The Squad vs. Deathstroke, which comes out November 12th. Meh.
You're not reading it. I'll be checking it out.
You can enjoy that.
I'm sure Deathstroke at the end of it will be like, I didn't really work for them. I'm really working for you guys because I get paid more through you guys. Some nonsense bullshit thing to get out of it.
Nope.
But I like the cover a lot. It has Harley Quinn front and center. You got Deadshot on the right, and then I believe Joker's daughter on the left.
Nope. Not reading it. You enjoy that.
With this next one, we are picking up New 52 Futures End Again. Why? Because in number 27 and number 28, it's going to be Batman versus Batman Beyond.
Yeah!
Those are going to release November 5th and 12th.
The solicitation for this was, it's the battle you've all been waiting for. But since Bruce taught Terry everything he knows about combat, who knows who will win? I know who will win. Batman will win.
Batman, of course.
Not even Batfake. Like, that's the thing. It wasn't Terry knows everything Bruce knows. It's Bruce taught him everything he knows. It's if Terry can execute it, which he can't. He just uses little rocket boots to fly around.
Well, here's what I was going to ask you. This is obviously a younger Batman, a less experienced Batman than the Batman that Terry learned from. So Terry knows some techniques that past Batman doesn't. Techniques from Batman himself in the future. Also, Terry's suit is actually built so that it has the super strength and the super speed to compensate for Bruce's age, except it's on Terry, a younger Batman. So do you think that the real Batman, who is younger, less experienced, will win against a Terry that has been taught by the older, more experienced Batman? Like, this is why it's going to be a close fight, in my opinion.
Now, Dan, this is what you're not realizing. You have Batman and Terry. Batman and Terry.
Terry trained by older Batman.
Training doesn't even matter. Okay, no, now listen.
It doesn't even matter?
Dick Grayson was trained by Batman. Who would win, Dick Grayson or Batman?
Batman.
Okay, then. Terry was trained by Batman. Who would win, Terry or Batman?
All right, I was trying to make it exciting. Fine. Of course, Batman's going to win.
We all know. You got to use Batman logic. Don't fight my Batman logic.
I could never mark it for DC because I'd be like, well, Batman's going to win. I would just point at the comic like, oh, look, Batman wins right here.
They're like, but damn, this is a Wonder Woman comic. And then you just like flip open to a random page and Batman's winning. And you're like, ah?
See, he's winning.
You can like will Batman into books now.
That's my superpower.
It would be amazing.
The cover is one of my probably my favorite one thus far in the whole Future's End. Number 1 had a great one. So did the number 0 with Batman Beyond in the center. But this one has Batman landing on Batman Beyond, who is in turn crashing through the bat signal.
So Batman beating Terry.
On the cover.
On the cover. They've already given away the ending of the comic.
We both know it's just going to end up being where they fight for a little bit. Terry says something to convince Batman that he's actually from the future.
Then Batman stops. Then Batman helps him.
Mm-hmm. In turn, making Terry's mission a success. Good job, Batman.
Batman saved the day.
Future's End because Batman saved it, so that shitty future is over.
We'll also be having Superman Wonder Woman number 13. This will release on November 12th. It has a new creative team. The writer will now be Peter J. Tomasi, who is best known for Batman and Robin. That's what we know him best for, anyway.
And the artist is Doug Mankey, who did Justice League and Green Lantern.
Awesome. Sounds like it's going to be a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, Doug Mankey I love. Like, he did an amazing Sinestro. He did Jeff Johns' run and then stopped with Jeff Johns. With him behind Superman, Wonder Woman, and then Tomasi, who usually we wait till the end of the year, but Batman and Robin, I think, has been the best DC series of 2014, narrowly over 0 Year, I think. at this point. Like, and that's because of, in part, with what's going on right now, which we will talk about when we get to our reading list.
Interesting.
Do you want to jump on to Superman Wonder Woman 13 with this team?
Let's pick it up and see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure it'll just be both of them talking about how they both wish they could be with Batman. But, you know, it's
Sounds
always
like
a good time.
Great book, yeah.
Yeah, just talking about how great Batman is and who loves Batman more. It's like a girl's slumber party. That would be... Can they paint their nails together? That would be an amazing...
They'll be drawing little Batman on their nails. Little bat signal.
They have to paint it like yellow with black or vice versa. Perfect.
Glitter on Superman's.
Of course.
What is better than two superheroes fighting? A team-up. What team-up is this? Batman Eternal number 31 comes out November 5th. Alfred, already awesome, because you're like, who the fuck is Alfred teaming up with? Teaming up with Bane.
Awesome!
Of all the people to put together those two, I'm in. Sold.
Maybe they can cook some Hispanic food together.
I'm sure they can.
They'll probably be kicking ass. Let's not lie. We're going to get to see Alfred kick some ass, and that's going to be amazing.
I love the cover. It has them both back to back as they're getting ready to fight like a crowd. From what I understand on this cover, it looks like Alfred is in like a straitjacket or like a prison uniform. So that could be how they get those two to team up. If you remember the Thanksgiving teaser that they had advertised throughout the New 52 books, one of the things that they had was Alfred in a straitjacket. So we were like, what's going to happen? And when's he going to go to the crazy house? Is he going to go to Arkham? Well, it looks like he might if it is Alfred and Bane teaming up. We can't wait. We're going to pick it up.
Of course.
Batman Eternal has been really solid. I've been checking it out when I can, and it's been great.
Next, we have Batman number 36, which will release November 12th. This is Endgame Part 2. There's no details yet on what exactly this arc is about, though.
They're keeping it very secret. Very secretive. We don't even know who the villain is yet for this arc. Scott Snyder teased the death of Batman. It might have just been like a joke that his kid drew, which he did put out as a picture. But Endgame, even the cover itself just has a silhouette of a swarm of bats on a yellow background. So we have no clue what's going to happen. What we do know is this won't be another past issue. This will take place in the Batman present.
Very interesting. Very spooky.
Very spooky. We do know Lark will be in it along with Harper Row as Bluebird. Batman and Robin number 36 in November. If you look at the cover, it has Batgirl, Red Hood, and Red Robin in classic Robin outfits.
So they're all extra whiny in this issue.
Possibly. The only one not there is Nightwing. Mm-hmm. Don't know why.
Well,
I know he's dead to the rest of the Bat family, yes. But he should have still been in there, like in the back, like, me too, guys.
Here I am. Like, that's my costume. This is great, though.
But I thought you were Nightstick.
I'm really excited for this one. We'll talk more about why later when we get to our comics for the week. But this sounds like a really good time. They're also going to be releasing the complete TV series Blu-ray book set for Batman from the 60s.
People have been waiting on the details. There are actually several options on how you can pick up the series. The most expensive option, which is the one we're going to cover first, will release on November 11th. It will retail for $284.99.
It will have all 120 fully remastered episodes in HD. A Hot Wheels replica of the Batmobile, 44 vintage trading cards, ultraviolet digital copy, so you can have it on PS3, whatever, pull it up all the time, there it is. Great feature. Over 3 hours of extras. And it also includes a new edition of Batman the TV stories in hardcover.
So a lot of stuff in there. Is that too pricey for you? Are you too broke to get that? Well, here's the next option. If you don't care about the TV stories in hardcover, you can get the Blu-ray set without it. That one is $269 with 97 cents. So all the other extras minus the book.
Okay. You can then also get the DVD set without the Batmobile, special packaging or hardcover. This is $199.70.
So just under $200. Finally, the cheapest way you can catch up on the re-release of the Batman 60s TV show is with the Season 1 DVD, which is set at $39.98. That's the most affordable option. If you buy the season separately, it may come out almost closer to that DVD set with the special packaging that comes with all the seasons for under $200. But otherwise, if you just want to get one at a time and save up, that $40 option is pretty reasonable.
Agreed. I will say this, though. If this were Batman the Animated Series, $300. I'd spend it all.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that. Like, I know
Oh, it'll happen, though.
a Blu-ray of Batman the Animated Series is difficult. They've said in the past that it would cost them way more than they would make in profit to clean up all the cells and clean up the picture to re-release it on Blu-ray. To me, if you don't want to re-release it on Blu-ray, like by cleaning it up in HD, that's fine. If I could just have it on a Blu-ray disc, even if it's standard definition, just so that it's on a better disc, scratch resistant compared to the DVD, and another backup, that'd be awesome. I'd settle for that.
Let's not tell them that, though, so they do try and clean it up for us.
Very true.
Overall, though, I think this is great if you're a big fan of the show. I even think the almost $300 price tag for some people would be reasonable for how much they love this show.
I can already think of at least 5 subscribers that I know are going to jump on this.
Mm-hmm.
Last bit of solicitations for DC are the Batman Arkham Knight action figures. We saw these shown at San Diego Comic-Con. We now have a date on them with the first set of heroes and villains. They will release on March 2015. No exact street date, but we do know it'll be early next year. And the first 4 figures coming out will be Harley Quinn, the Arkham Knight, Batman, and Scarecrow. Each one coming out at $24.95.
Reasonable price. I don't think they should have picked Harley Quinn because she looks like a horse in this game, but just me throwing
With
it
her
out
weird
there.
face.
Weird, she got it. Sarah Jessica Parker face.
Scarecrow has the best design. The best
Yes.
figure out of all of these
Agreed.
is the Scarecrow. Second one being the Arkham Knight. I love the design on the characters. They look great as action figures. The Batman one, only because of those shiny, glossy shoulder pads that connect to the bat symbol, I don't like that. I'm sure it'll look better in the video game, but as far as like an action figure or a statue, I'm not a fan.
Any of these you're going to pick up?
Probably won't, because we do have those animated series ones that are
Oh,
coming out
yeah. And my little Gotham. Where's my little Gotham?
next month, September.
Better hurry up and get here faster, little Gotham.
But if I were going to pick up 2, it would be Arkham Knight and the Scarecrow.
Good choices. And our last bit of news. Funko revealed this week that it'll be the first company to produce an official Baby Groot figure. Finally! I've waited how many weeks? Why do they keep me waiting?
People started buying up those dancing flower ones you see at the Dollar Tree, that kind of thing, and just putting Groot over it. But that wasn't going to last long. Like, the ones that have gone up, they've been pulled down by Marvel for a lot of them.
Wow.
But Funko jumped on it, quickly designed up a prototype, put it out there. Does it dance?
Sort of. It is a bobblehead, so only the head will move, but you can pretend he's dancing.
You could. No release date or price yet.
Just grab him by the head and wiggle his body.
There you go. Solved it.
His head won't break, guys.
Look, the body and the pot dance.
This is awesome, though. They're going to sell the shit out of those.
Yeah, my shop needs to get 20 of these. If this can release before the holidays, yeah, we need 20 to 25 of them.
Absolutely. I'm still going to go buy that flower, though, and try and make my own.
The cheap option.
Yep, I'm going to do it.
You got to do like the nailed it comparison.
Can I please?
You just wrap it in like brown paper towel and draw like a smiley face on it.
Not even. I'm going to take like a, you know those brown lunch bags and stick that over top and just draw Groot on it. Or I'm going to tape a twig to it.
Nailed it. Can't wait. And before we jump into a question from Facebook and a review, our second sponsor for Nerd Up Media and the Reasons I'm Broke is Hero Crate. With Hero Crate, you get a crate with over $50 in retail value for $29.99.
Everything in this box will be hero themed, which is fantastic for people like us who love our comic books and our superheroes. It will include a custom t-shirt, 4 to 6 hero-themed mystery items, and a chance to win the next crate for free.
So head on over to HeroCrate.com, pick up your first crate, check it out. Again, you get a chance to win next month for free. But also follow them on Twitter, @HeroCrate. They do have a great little community that they're building, the Heroes League, and we are very proud to be a part of that. A review we got this week comes from Riggs at Facebook. He said, quote, "It's more than you should read this comic because we did. They dive into the various ins and outs of the writers and their choices. You can congratulate them on their 100th podcast by liking their Facebook page and listening to all the reasons why they're broke.
Aw, thank you, Riggs.
Thank you very much. We really appreciated that, and it was a great share. We did get a couple of likes out of it, and hopefully the new listeners are enjoying the show so far.
Absolutely. And then a question we got this week from John at Facebook, who asks, when did you guys start reading comics? For me, probably 1980 to 81. I know, I'm old. I've read on a steady basis since 85.
That's an OG comic reader right there. We can learn a lot from John.
That's a true comic fan.
Because those exist. So, great question. Did you want to start, or should I go with mine?
You can go ahead and start.
For me, it was when I was a little kid. One of the neighbors that we used to live with, he actually had a bunch of X-Men comics from the 90s. They were really cool. His favorite was Wolverine, just like everyone else, and Gambit. And ever since then, like, there wasn't a comic shop near our house, and we didn't grow up with, the expendable income, really. So comics, like, it wasn't something that I could really ask for. Later on, as I got a little bit older, I want to say I was about 7 or 8. For the holidays, I did ask for comic books. And at the time, I didn't really have, like, a favorite comic because I was just getting into it, and I was just a little kid. So what my parents got me was, like, a little grab bag that you see at comic shops. Usually, sometimes it'll be like a storyline pack. It'll come with 5 comics, parts 1 through 7 or whatever, for like $10. But for this one, it was like a mix of things. So there was Nightfall in there, Batman Black and White, Spawn, Sonic the Hedgehog, just a mix of stuff stuff they can't really move or sell, or they have extras of. But I was thrilled. Like, I got this package of comics, and my parents didn't really go through them. They were just like, oh, comics, here you go, happy holidays. And the first Batman comic I read was the Batman Black and White, which has the one guy that is remembering how he killed the Batman. And I turned the page, and I've told the story before, but it shows like a close-up of a bullet going through Batman's head, coming out like, oh, and I was like, what happened to Batman? Why did that guy with the glasses kill him?
The guy with the glasses from
the Nostalgia Critic. So I guess that's when I started reading comics, and those I reread for a long time until I finally, on the Yellow Pages, I don't know, a lot of kids just go on the internet now, but back then you got the Yellow Pages. I went straight to C for comics.
None of those kids know what the Yellow Pages is. You're talking about this Yellow Pages, and they're like, the what?
It's like Google, but in book form.
Okay, there you go.
That'll help them. That'll get them started on what exactly that is.
Google the Yellow Pages, kids. Learn what it is. Go to Wikipedia.
And we went to the comic shop, and at the time it was the Sega Genesis was the hot thing, and I was really into Sonic the Hedgehog, so I picked up some Sonic the Hedgehog comics, and that's kind of where it all started.
Yours is a very touching story. Mine is not so much. I was dating this man once upon a time who said, Kelli, read this comic book. And then I married him, I guess. But I began reading comic books with Streets of Gotham by Dustin Nguyen. I was really attracted to the art, which is probably why Dustin Nguyen is my favorite artist, obviously. But it told a great story, too, and it's the first time that I had really thought of comics really telling a good story. I mean, I knew, comics are good and they're out there, but I hadn't really read them. And then I was hooked, and immediately after, or shortly after that, Sirens came out, and then it was over. Man, Harley Quinn, done. And then I've been reading comics ever since that.
At the time, we had revisited Batman the Animated Series and fell back in love with Harley Quinn.
We were getting tattoos and being young and wild. And
with Sirens out, that was an easy hook for you.
Yep. So see, strong female characters, getting girls into comic books. Good job. And Dustin Nguyen. He got me into comic books, too.
So great question from John. Thank you very much. Brokettes out there, tell us your story. How did you first get into comics? How did you start reading them?
You can let us know through Facebook or Twitter at Reasons I'm Broke. We'd love to hear from you.
You also did put up an unboxing for Bein' Puppy Cat.
Yes, my review for the Puppy Cat plush is up on YouTube right now. It is the cutest thing ever. I think I make him talk to me 5 times a day at least. And then I'm like, he said this in this part of the show because I'm an expert now. But he is a fantastic plush. Everybody go out there and buy him, please. And head on over to YouTube. You can check out my review of him, and you can hear him sing to you.
Yeah, if you want a link to our YouTube channel, head on over to nerdupmedia.com, click on The Reasons I'm Broke. While you're there, check out the other great shows that we have on our network. Finally, before we go into our comic pool list for the week, we would like you to check out the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge video that we put up on YouTube as well, on our YouTube channel.
Yes, we got nominated by @IrishOnFire, who said, "You guys get to do this now," and I said, "Okay, let me fill up the ice bucket." But it's a great cause, guys. We're going to talk a little bit more about it in our YouTube video if you head over there and check it out, and you get to see us be freezing.
Yeah, we actually ended up getting 2 nominations. The second one I just noticed today. It was from Tessa from Nerds in a Box. So she was our second nomination. Again, head on over to youtube.com/thereasonsimbroke. While you're there, check out the unboxing and the ALS challenge. If you did the challenge, link it on over to us on Twitter and on Facebook. We'd love to check it out, and we'd retweet you.
Okay, so 2 nominations, and we each get 3 nominations for every nomination. So does that mean we get to nominate 12 people?
I think it's 3 nominations per video. I mean, technically we could each have 3, but...
I'm pretty sure... I don't know. Can we nominate all the Brokettes? We have like 12 listeners, right? That may be a little too many.
That's about 10 too many.
Thank you for the 2 of you who listen to us.
One of them is me.
My mom. But with that, guys, we will actually jump into our comic books this week. It was a very, very small week. I was surprised. But we did get some great comics. First up on the indie side, we have Adventure Time number 31. This is written by Ryan North, Sarah Ellis, and Sam Ellis, with art by Shelley Pereline, Brandon Lamb, and Sam Ellis.
This was my favorite of the 2 Adventure Time comics that we got this week.
Really?
Not my pick of the week, though, but it was excellent. I really love this book.
It was not my favorite of the 2 Adventure Time ones this week.
Well worth your dollar. It's $3.99, tons of dialogue, tons of jokes, not even including the stuff that they put at the bottom of the pages. There are even jokes that break the fourth wall. My favorite team up for Adventure Time and my favorite comics from the series have been when Finn and Jake team up with the Ice King. And we even tweeted to Ryan North telling him how much we loved Ice King teaming up with Finn and Jake. Like, the book should always be about those 3. And number 31 brings it right back. So I loved it. I love that Ice King is back with the 2. They truly are friends, and I feel like they're much nicer to him at that point. Mm-hmm. And if you've seen the show or even read a couple of the comics, you already feel for the Ice King so much.
Exactly. My favorite part of this book was when Ice King and Bimo were by themselves.
Yes, continue that romance, please. I can't wait to see how it unfolds.
And Ice King goes, "So, you want to go on another date?" And Bimo's like, "Sure." So I guess they're going to go out again. It was funny, just wasn't my favorite. Maybe there was too much dialogue and I was too tired. I have that problem with books sometimes. And I'm like, I'll just take a nap instead.
The other Adventure Time book that we got was the Banana Guard Academy number 2 of 6. This one was written by Kent Osborne and Dylan Haggerty, with art by Madeline Rupert and colors by Whitney Kogar. This
was my favorite of the 2 Adventure Time books. I thought it was adorable. I thought all their test answers were hilarious. I'm totally in love with that gingerbread kid now. Not just because we're both gingers, but, you know.
It was a great story. I like this one way more than the first one.
Yes, agreed. I feel like this one made you kind of care for all the characters a little bit. Like, I like the asshole Banana Guard. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, even the villain is great and entertaining.
He's really cool. I love, like I said, the gingerbread kid. We got Punchy the Punch Bowl in there, and I'm like, it's the Kool-Aid Man. He jumped in, he's like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, shit's about to go down, man. But it was great. Like I said, there's this page where they all have to take like an entrance test or whatever and answer all these questions. All their answers were hilarious. It was great.
So any picks of the week so far with our Adventure Times?
No. Next up is Samurai Jack number 11. This is written by Jim Zub with art by Andy Suriano and colors by Josh Burcham.
It's more of Samurai Jack trying to get back into his time. It continues all of that. So I'm hoping this is the beginning of an arc. Mm-hmm. But again, the book stands on its own. This does put Samurai Jack at the end of it in a bit of a predicament. What happens when a warrior tries to get back home and then ends up actually at a worse place than he started?
The thing I'm loving about these Samurai Jacks, and it's been this way since issue number 1, is they're all very easy to follow and easy to read, and they follow right after the show. you still get the feel of the show in the comic book. You know, it's just like watching an episode. Oh, they brought it back. This character that they introduced in this one, I've never seen him before. Maybe he was in the show. I don't know. But I didn't feel lost. I didn't feel like he was out of place in this world. Except I didn't trust him for just a little bit. But, you know, it's all his coughing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. So far, we're 3 for 3 on this week. Last book on our indie list is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Annual 2014. It's written by Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz, with art by Kevin Eastman. So the entire book is done by Kevin. The colors are by Rhonda Pattison.
This is my pass of the week.
My pass of the week as well.
It was horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. So our pass of the week for TMNT for 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, because we had Grandma Krang in last week making cookies, and now we got weird gladiator turtles with random dude, and I didn't even know. I just don't know.
I tricked you again. Your pass of the week last week was Suicide Squad, remember?
I had 2 passes of the week, sir. Thank you. Go back and listen to where I said you can't rule my life. Just let me live how I want to live. I have 2 passes.
So this annual 2014...
You're getting the bigger bucket of ice.
Essentially the accelerators, but with the turtles in them.
Yeah, except not as good as accelerators, as horrible as that is to say.
No, very true. Not as good as the accelerators. If you want a good gladiator type story, check out the accelerators from Blue Juice Comics. You should be able to find them in any back issue bin at this point, and they will be returning soon. But for this one, it's a $7.99 book.
Ew.
And honestly, the story in it was not worth that $1.
No.
This takes place before Turtles in Time, and nothing really happens. It doesn't change any type of story. Usually these annuals are standalone one-shots, which it is, but there wasn't anything substantial with it.
Agreed. You have the weird lady. I don't even know who she is, which I feel like they should have at least explained that. So let's assume somebody doesn't know who she is. Let's explain something. They didn't. I was like, why are you popping in here? They're trying to be funny. Just let them be funny. But she whisks them away, and then they meet up with Art Baltazar.
That's exactly what I thought of too when I saw the name.
They meet up with this caveman, something named Baltazar, who uses current day phrases like dude or cowabunga and like gosh and things like that. I'm like, you wouldn't talk that way, sir. I don't even know who you are. He had like a 0 reason for fighting. Like, I've been fighting since I was popped out of the womb. Like, I'm gonna keep on fighting. I'm like, I don't even care, sir. And then the random lady's in love with him. Even that love story. A love story I did not care about in this book.
My favorite parts of it were the beginning and the end.
Yep.
Because they were the funniest. And funny enough, they had the most story than the middle part. That's where it got bad. I wouldn't even say if you are a big fan of Kevin Eastman to pick up this book, because when they go into the other dimension, the whole book gets black and white, which is like the classic TMNT book, but the art wasn't anything to write home about, even for Kevin Eastman. Kevin Eastman does the great covers for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ongoing series, which I would say collect those instead of this $8 book. Definitely our pass of the week.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Moving into our DC, we have Batman and Robin number 34. This is part of the Robin Rises arc. It is written by Peter J. Tomasi with art by Pat Gleason and Mick Gray, and finally colors by John Calise. This is Dan's pick of the week. Did I get it?
Yes, it
is. I know you a whole lot because I know your comic books, and I know all of your comic books.
It is my pass of the week, or pick of the week.
Because you like, oh no, your pass of the week.
Nope, my
this
pick
is
of the
Dan's pass of the week. This was his least favorite book.
I misspoke.
Least favorite book.
Now that Batman and Robin number 33 has come and gone, at the very end of it we said we wouldn't spoil it, but number 33, which was last month, Batman doesn't get the Justice League to go with him to Apocalypse, so he gets the Bat Family.
Yeah.
That was the big reveal at the end. And here you do see how he wants the Bat Family involved before he heads into Apocalypse to try to get back the body of Damian. At this point, Batman, I think, is trying to resurrect his son more than try to get the body back. Because at one point in this book, he does say, I'm going to bring back my son to resurrect him. So you're kind of like, okay, so has he slipped back into that non-acceptance form of it?
Cray Batman.
Or what's going on? But it's such a human book. You could argue that no action happens and the story doesn't move along, but it does. Because everything that Batman tells the Bat Family It includes the entire pre-52 stuff that happened, including the new 52 stuff with Death of the Family. It's all in there. He's very close to each member of the Bat family, even Grayson, who is supposedly dead. It's all in here. Got a great Alfred moment. And finally, what we love about Justice League, the interaction with Lex Luthor.
Yep, that was a great moment. My favorite parts for me, though, were Batman in the Batcave with his family, getting his family back after, Death of the Family feels like ages ago now. I'm sure in comic book timeline it was very close for them. But they're now starting to get over that and get back to being the family that they used to be. Batman's going to fuck it all up again, and we all know why. They're going to be mad at him again. But I love most that Alfred was there taking care of the family. And a subtle note, I don't know if you caught it. Spoiler alert, I guess. The moment when Alfred goes to make them dinner. He's only making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Kind of hints that that's all they have in the house. So you can see what a toll all of this is taking on Alfred as well. He hasn't even grocery shopped. I think that's great that Tomasi still includes little things like that, so you can still see that these characters are, again, human and going through things. If it was just, oh, cool, I'll go make a big steak dinner because we have all this food, that doesn't show Alfred's suffering as much as that little statement does.
Yes, a lot happens in this. We barely scratched the surface. Check out Batman and Robin number 34, our pick of the week, very easily. It kind of hurts me that we won't see what happens until October because of Futures End next month. I'm
pretty sure you just said our pick of the week. Are you putting words in my mouth?
Is this your pick of the week?
Fine, it was, but okay, you're putting words in my mouth, sir.
So we both guessed each other's pick of the week correctly.
Fine, just let me live my life, though.
So we both win.
Don't say things for me that you don't know if they're accurate or not. Because this next one could have been my pick of the week. It was pretty good, too.
Could have been. That is Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman number 1. Written by Gail Simone and Amanda Daybert. Art by Ethan Van Sciver, Marcelo Di Chiara, and Kat Staggs. With colors by Brian Miller and John Rauch.
I thought this first story was really good.
Yeah, there are 2 stories in this comic.
The first story was, what would Wonder Woman do if she came to Gotham and had to clean it up?
And the second one was more about how much of a warrior and how ruthless Wonder Woman can be when someone doesn't expect it. Much weaker story than Gail Simone's.
I thought that it had some great art, though.
Yeah, the art was amazing. If we could have had that art in the first story, I would have been happier. But to the first artist's credit, they did put Harley in the classic outfit.
Yes, which was great. And Harley and Catwoman teamed up with Wonder Woman because, why not?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening in this book. With Gail Simone no longer in Batgirl, this was a great story to hold us over until her next secret project.
Ooh.
Which has to be, again, I think it's Secret 6.
Secret 6 project. Just ask Conroy, he'll tell us.
Yes, I should have done that months ago. Why haven't I?
Our final book of the week is Teen Titans Go, number 5. This is written by Amy Wolfram and Shali Fish, with art by Jorge Corona and Leah Hernandez, and colorist is Jeremy Lawson.
This has been my favorite Teen Titans Go comic thus far. Beast Boy and Cyborg are doing some prank calls all around the DC universe, and you see what the consequences of that is.
Hilarious.
So funny. I loved it.
Hilarious. Don't even want to spoil that one, because that was really, really good. I get that this book is probably geared more towards kids, but you guys, you gotta pick it up. It's so funny. If you're not watching the show, watch the show, because that last episode we watched was hilarious with the old people.
Yes.
Great times.
Once Teen Titans Go comes out on Blu-ray, we're picking it up. If you want a great companion to the show, it's not as good, I would say, as the show, but It's still a great thing to have if you're a fan of it. Definitely pick it up. If anything, Teen Titans Go number 5. The second story, just to give you a slight preview, it is what happens when the Titans mess with Raven's dark magic stuff.
Yeah, it was great. See, this could have been my pick of the week. What you doing putting words in my mouth?
Well, it wasn't. Instead, we actually agreed on both our pick of the week and our pass of the week.
Our passes of the week were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Annual 2014.
And our pick of the week was Batman and Robin number 34, part of Robin Rises.
And guys, that'll actually do it for our podcast this week. Thank you so much for listening.
Just a quick reminder, if you want to leave us a review or follow us anywhere, head on over to nerdupmedia.com. You can find the link to everything, our Facebook, our networking sites, and everywhere that you can listen and stream the show.
Some great new stuff up on YouTube. If you haven't checked it out yet, I have my review of the Puppy Cat plush, which is awesome. And we will also have our ALS Ice Buck challenge up as well.
Just like we did with this episode, leave us comments, reviews, feedback. We'll read it on the air.
Thank you again, Brokettes. I'm Kelli.
And I'm Daniel.
We'll see you next week.